By the power of Grayskull.
Hello, this is just a quick review. Well, quick, it's 20 minutes, but it's such a big game, it's like 20 minutes. I would love to make a video a lot longer than this, but I'll crack on. This is Need for Speed Payback. I seen it on the PlayStation Store. It's like 70% off. It's like reduced from 55 quid. This is the deluxe version I'm playing, and it's reduced down to 15 quid, and the normal edition is only $9.99. But I got the deluxe edition because you get like the Supercross add-on, and you get some cars, and I bought like an add-on bundle as well for the cars. Got all the DLC cars like the Pontiac Firebird and that. That's the only reason why I bought it. So all in all, I got the deluxe edition and all the DLC cars for 19 quid. Came to just under 19 quid. But I've been playing it like last couple of days, like literally putting it on as soon as I wake up, and then like at the weekend, and then just playing it all day until I when to go to bed. It's one of those games where it's not amazing and there's loads of flaws in it, but it's enjoyable. Like it's a game at the end of the day, and it's very arcadey kind of style racing. It reminded me a bit of Burnout, where you're flying through the traffic, and even if you hit a car when you're going like 170 mile an hour, you like the car will go flying and do barrel roll in the air, and you just keep going. It's like that kind of thing. But there's lots of variety, and plus you get free reign to design your own cars. Like I designed this one, because when I first put it on, I hadn't really got the grips of where the game played and what you actually had to do, and then I realised like how the game works after I got playing it for a bit, and that's just the best way to explain it. Once you've played it for a bit, you can see how the game opens up, so you know how to play the game basically. Because there's 5 different classes of cars, and there's like off-road, there's drift, there's drag, there's race, and then there's a one called runner, which is basically what you use to race against the police, so you can bash into them and then they're doing barrel rolls in the air and shit. The map's huge, as you can see, and you get free reign of the map straight away. As soon as you start, it's all unlocked for you. It's not like the road's shut or there's like an invisible barrier there. Talking of invisible barriers, when you're racing around, you get like big blue arrow chevrons telling you where to go, which I don't like. They should just have it like Grand Theft, where it's like one circle checkpoint and that's all you need. You don't need to have like basically holding your hand all the way. It might be because you're flying so fast that you need that kind of direction, so you know where to go, because you're trying to avoid the traffic and navigate the city as well. But like I say, I've watched a lot of videos online about this before I bought it, and a lot of people are negative about it, and I can see why. It's like all you do when you're getting chased off the police is you just collect checkpoints. It doesn't matter if they're right on your arse. As soon as you've collected the last checkpoint, you've lost them. So that's a bit shit. Anytime you're doing a story mission and you're doing any kind of exciting stuff, like chasing after a truck, and you've got to jump onto the truck or you've got to pull up behind it and stuff like that, as soon as you get close in the radius, then it activates a cutscene, and you just watch all the action in like through a cutscene instead of actually getting to do it yourself. Whereas Grand Theft is, you would actually have to jump and climb aboard the truck yourself and fight the blokes. Whereas this, it's just fucking, it's basically just a racing game. There's nothing else to it, but they're trying to flesh it out more by giving you these set piece things to do. I mean, it doesn't particularly bother me because I knew like the game before I got it. I knew what I was getting myself in for, so I'm not that disappointed, even though I am. But you know what I mean, like games like Forza and even Gran Turismo, like just a bit more realistic. Like you can't just, it says you can go anywhere because you've got an off-road class, but it doesn't let you literally go everywhere. It's only basically where there's no invisible walls, because you can, even if they're just little rocks and you're trying to squeeze through a gap, like say I wanted to go left, or say I want to go right and up those banks, you can't. It just won't let you. So it's a bit shit in that respect. Um, but there's lots of things that I do like about it. So it's one of those games where you'll enjoy it playing it, and it was only because I paid like 15 quid for it I thought, yeah, I'm not bothered. It's not that much of a loss if it's totally shit. Um, but like I said, there's a good little range of cars. You get all different types, and the best thing about this game is where, like I said before, if you want to make a drag build, then you get different customization options than you do if you're wanting to do, say, like a drift build. So like different cars under different builds have different like options, so you can make a lot of like cool customizations. Like here, this is what I'm talking about, where there's race, drift, drag, off-road and runner. So do you see how they differ? And it's the Volkswagen Beetle from the runner, which is just like a bog standard fresh out of the factory, to like the off-road, which is all jacked up. Then look at the drag, look at the size of the back wheels, and like the engine bay is all exposed, and you've got a massive spoiler. And then look how low the drift car is. So you just get different setups for the different types of races. And when I first started, because I had downloaded like the DLC for the car bundle and everything like that, so I was thinking, where the fuck's all my cars? So I just went straight to the first dealership and I bought all the DLC cars. I mean, they're all for free, they didn't cost us anything, but I got them all in my garage. And then I realised they were all off-road class. So, you know, it just takes a little time just to get involved and to work out what you need to do. But then you get these situations where you find these derelict cars, like I was doing before, like this Volkswagen Beetle is a derelict, and you've got to travel around the map and you get clues, and you can find out where they are, and then you collect 5 different parts plus the chassis and the engine and everything, you know, the trim and the wheels and everything, and then you can put it all together. So I've been around the map and I've collected them already, and then you come back to your garage, and once you've unlocked the garage you can fast travel, same as the petrol stations and same as dealerships. So it comes in handy because you've got basically 3 different ways to traverse around the map. But I've made mine into a drift, this Volkswagen Beetle, and I've made all my cars like movie counterparts. I mean, I've got my Dodge Charger as the Dukes of Hazzard car. I've got this Volkswagen Beetle as Herbie. I've got what else have I got? I've got shitloads. I've been doing them up. Like I've been designing the liveries and that myself. That's what I like about it. It gives you lots of customization. The graphics are good. The sound's good. The gameplay is not that bad. Like the drive and the way it handles, each car handles differently. Obviously, the drift car wants to kick the back end out and keep in the drift all the time, whereas the race car, you can drift with it, but it'll correct itself a lot sooner than the drift car will. So depending on what car you've got is how it handles, which is good. And also what I love about it is that there's like community, like an online community, so you can download other people's sticker jobs and all the liveries and the wraps and everything. You can buy them yourself, so it saves you time. You don't buy them, you download them, so you can save your time like having to actually customize them yourself. But I enjoy doing them, like, because I'm into big like rally sports, so I love, say, getting a Golf GTI and doing it up like a famous rally car, or even a Mitsubishi or something like that, or the Focus, and just do it up like it's real life counterpart. Like, you know how you see people do the Ken Block monster like livery, that kind of shit. I just love that, doing those, designing them up and making them myself. So it's perfect for if you like that kind of stuff. If you're creative, then you're gonna love it because it gives you free reign. The only thing I don't like about it is that you can't change things until you've unlocked them in the world. Basically, like, you've got to say you want to change the headlights, you've got to like get a speeding ticket for over 170 mile an hour or something like that, and then you can start messing about with them. So that at the beginning, when you're starting to do the cars up and you're wanting to go in and out your garage and you're having to look at the cars and the options, a lot of the things you might not be able to pick, like you can't change your rims until you've done certain things in this free roam world. Do you know what I mean? So it's like it restricts you, but I suppose that's the whole point in the game. It's a game, isn't it? Like, that's what you're doing. You're playing it. It's giving you objectives to do, to unlock, to progress. Gives you something to work towards. It's all fine and well saying, oh, you've got to do this, you've got to grind, and you've got to do this, and it's boring. Well, what else are you meant to do? You know what I mean? It's like they're trying to flesh the game out to give you more content so you don't complete it in the first week. But I was saying before, I feel as though, I mean, because I don't mind it being arcade, like handling. I don't really mind that. But it's good, especially drifting. I like the way the drift handles, because you can, depending on the throttle and the brake, and with it being a PlayStation, you've got the triggers, so you can just half throttle or half brake, and you can, like, you know, double tap your brake and stuff like that, so you set it into a slide, and then depending on how much throttle you've got and how much brake you're doing, you can like control the car. There's like a finesse of sliding, and you can take really sharp corners at speed if you know how to handle the car, and it's really good. It's rewarding in that sense. This, what you're looking at now, this is like a system where they've got cards, these like speed cards, and you can buy them using the yellow currency at the top, or those, see where it says 47 or 44, then you spin this like bandit thing, and you can lock one category, so it's like the part of the car, like the brand of upgrade, and then like the perk that you get. So it's if you're looking for certain parts, like you go to the shop at the top with L1 and R1, you can flick along and you flick to buy, and then you can see what's there in the shop, so you can just buy like what you want, try and buy all the same like brand, and then they'll work together better. Do you see how it says 3 times outlaw underneath all the stats? That means you'll get a bonus if you have 3 of the same mods, like the brand outlaw. But at the time when I was recording this, I didn't really know what I was doing here, and I had like 38 cards because I had been playing for ages and I didn't know like what to do, and I was just discovering this. So I'm wasting all my cards, and I wish I could go back now because I would spend them properly. Now I know what I'm doing. But at the time I was just spinning and hoping, and then I was like trading them in. Do you see, I would say as equip, trade in, or you can sell them, or you can send them back to your garage, and then you can put them on different cars so you can collect them as well. Like I say, it's got this like whole microtransaction kind of in-game thing where you're earning credits, and the money that you earn you can use to get upgrades to do your car up. It's not the same as if you were playing Gran Turismo or something like that, where you just, or even Grand Theft, where you take it in and it's got, this is how much it is for this, this and this, and you can just save up your money and buy it. This, it's a bit of luck, and it just means you're going to be grinding for longer because you've got to come back and get the things that you need, the levels that you need. And then it says, like, once the shop, you've bought everything, because they've only got a certain amount of items for sale, and then once you've bought everything, it says like the shop will resupply, and it counts down like every 10 minutes or something. So every 10 minutes it refreshes, so you can go back to the shop and have a look to see if they've got what you need. But like, this kind of thing is boring if you don't like doing cars up. But if you like doing your car up and you like fucking about with, like, you can mess about with the camber and the height and the ride height and, you know, everything like that. And you can mess about with, there's a thing called live tuning, where you can, instead of going to a garage and tuning it up while you're driving around, you can just press down or hold down, I think, on your directions, and it opens up like a mini map, and you've got 3 options, and you can mess about with some tuning, like just on the fly. So while you're driving it, you can fine tune your car so you can get the exact setup that you want in each class, like drift or drag or whatever. So I like the way they've set it out. It's just they haven't made the game good enough to what they're trying to do. Like they've made it too complicated without. If they just brought it back a bit down to the bare bones, give you free reign of everything, customize wise, and just maybe play to unlock the cars. Like this footage here, I'm looking for some parts for one of the cars, the derelict cars, and you see it there, the purple little marker. Once you get close, you hear like see I overshot. I can't do it again, but you hear like a radar, like a beep beep beep, and then the closer you get, the more it beeps. So you can sort of find out where it is, and then once you've spotted it, it comes up on your map. But like you see how you're just driving around on the dirt here, but look, you try and get too close to the edge, and you can get stuck as well. It's happened 3 times now, where I've beached myself on a rock, and I was in the Golf GDI, and it's front wheel drive, and the front wheels weren't touching the floor, so I couldn't reverse off this rock, and I was just spinning, and there's no reset button. I don't know how to go to a reset, like just to reset your car. It does it for you automatically if you crash, or if you go off out of bounds, it'll just like fade to black, and then it'll just put you back on the track. But you can't manually just restart, which is shit. So I had to like at the end I had to just, I think, what did I do? Because at the time I didn't realise you could fast travel to your garage. So I could have just pressed the map and then fast travelled to the garage, and then I could have went back outside and I probably would have been in the car. But instead I just loaded in the multiplayer, and then I went back to the story mode, and that's how I got around that. But, you know, just little things like that. It doesn't really explain it well. Or maybe it does, and I don't really listen. I'll just skip. There, look, I got stuck here. See how the back wheels, they're just spinning around, and you can't move, and there's nothing you can do. There's no button you can press. But once you get used to the way the game works, like I was saying, it's not that bad, and you can start enjoying it more, because then you know how to play the game, and you don't get bumped like this as often. Like, look at the size of the map. There's shitloads to do. There's those ones that are bouncing up and down. They're like what you need to do to progress, because you'll go to do like a drag, and then you've got to do 5 different drag races before you meet the boss of that gang, who are the best at drifting, and then there's a gang who are the best at drag racing, and they've all got like gang names. Like they say, the story mode's bullshit. Like it's like trying to get you involved and invested in these characters, and it's about how one gang is trying to get revenge on another gang, and you know, it's just all bullshit. I just skip them as soon as I can. I don't really have time for the story mode, and I'm not really interested. But look, this is what I'm talking about. These are the kind of liveries and sticker jobs that I like doing, where you design them yourself, and you just make, you know, like cars that you've always wanted, like an M3. You know, I would love an old school M3 like this, with this exact paint job. Imagine that, it would just be amazing. But you get free reign. I mean, look at all these different stickers jobs as well, and you can go online, like I said before, and there's thousands and thousands and thousands of different people's ideas, and some are really clever, some are really good. Some people have spent hours and hours on them, so they look really professional. You know, like it looks like a real car. It's not just half-assed, took 30 minutes and, you know, it looks shit. There's ones where they look actual, like proper, like say Ken Block. If you're a fan of his, instead of having to make it and recreate it, I mean, you can. That's the kind of thing I like doing, because I like spending the time doing it, and just get your phone out and look on Google and just copy it exactly, or do the best you can with the options you've got. Or you can just go onto the community and you can just have a look, and you can just download them, any that's there, and you can have up to 100 slots of saved community stuff. So it's really good. It's one of those ones where they'll give you exactly what you want. You want like a big range of cars, which there is. I think there's like 100 cars or something. I haven't counted them. I'm just guessing. There's a lot. There's about 60 at least. Um, and then there's old school classics as well. And then there's like you can free reign to draw stickers. I mean, you can write whatever you want on the car. You know, as long as you have to watch it if you're uploading it online, because you'll be breaking the community standards if you've got cock or something written on the side of your car. But you know, if you can like just do anything you want. That's what I like about it. And like I said before, the different builds have got different options. So you get different spoilers, you get different bumpers and stuff like that. You can change the wheels, the rim size. You can change the brake discs. You can change the tires. There's lots to do. You can change all the headlamps, like all the different tints, the colors and stuff. I just love the way they've give you free roam of the options, because when I'm looking for a car game, that's the first thing you look for is like, can you customize your cars? Can you do them up? And like, is the graphics any good? And what's the handling like? You know, they're the main basic things for a car game. Story and objectives and all that bullshit. It's just like add-ons. They're just what you do while you're playing the game. But this is class. You get like old derelict cars, classics, and you can do them up any way you want. That alone is worth $9.99, I think, if you're gonna just buy the basic package. But it's only until the 18th of January this year, so you have to be quick, because it's the 15th or the 16th or something now. So you have to be quick as fuck and try and get in there. But it's definitely worth it. I mean, it got slated online. If you watch other people's reviews, everybody hates it. Because, like I said, they've cut corners when it comes to gameplay, and they hold your hand through a lot of it. They don't let you play. It takes over and goes into a cutscene, and instead of just letting you have a go. But I don't mind there. I've got Dukes of Hazzard in the background. I've got Smokey and the Bandit. I've got I've got some class. It depends what you're into. It depends if you're a petrol head and you like cars, then you'll love it. It's arcade kind of handling, so it's not too serious, and the drifting's really good fun. Drag is good as well, where you've got to catch the rev limiter and get a perfect shift and everything like the old Need for Speeds. So if you like the look of it, then definitely go and get it. It's only a tenner, but you've only got until the 18th. So that's it. See you later.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.